Have you ever thought about what an evil Batman would be like? Imagine all that grit, stealthiness, and sheer relentlessness went into not protecting Gotham, but bringing it to its knees, bringing the whole world to its knees, even the world beyond just the DC universe. How would he fare in the Marvel universe? He would definitely succeed, and DC created a pretty vicious version of him, the Batman who laughs, an alternate version and evil counterpart of Batman within the Dark Multiverse. In this multiverse What If crossover, we'll be giving you some insight on the Bat's evil doppelganger and prove just how dangerous he can be. We'll even be pitting him against Marvel's mightiest and showing why this Dark Knight can conquer two comic universes. His story takes place on Earth 22, and just like the story we all know, Bruce Wayne watched his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, get murdered in an alleyway. With the desire to fight against crime, he goes on to train for years to become Gotham's only hero, Batman. In his time as Batman, he took on many sidekicks, including Red Hood, Batgirl, Red Robin, and Nightwing, as well as his blood son Damian Wayne. This warped Batman, before his Jokerification, lived by the same code and standards as his mainstream counterpart, co-founding the Justice League. Everything went south for the Dark Knight when his greatest foe, Joker, began a killing spree across the city of Gotham. While killing senselessly isn't usually the clown's MO, he had just found out that he was dying from the same nasty chemicals that made him who he was. So, this was supposed to be the clown's final joke. He went on to murder a bunch of Batman's enemies, including the Penguin, Killer Croc, the Ventriloquist, and Catwoman. He'd pretty much done Batman's job for him, but he didn't stop there. He also killed Batman's friend Commissioner Gordon. Batman had to stop him, but upon meeting the Joker, he was drugged, paralyzing his body temporarily. So, all Gotham's only hope could do was watch as the Joker created his final legacy. Right in front of Bruce, Joker blew up an entire hospital, and to make it personal, killed the parents of a bunch of kids before injecting them with an incurable strain of Joker venom. What a sick joke. The Joker's comedy always seemed to be lost on the masses, but moving on. According to him, he was trying to create a hybrid of both Joker and Batman. The only thing more deadly than the Joker is a dying Joker. Well, at this point, Batman had had enough. He snapped. After he eventually regained movement, he grabbed the Joker and broke his neck, killing him instantly. But unbeknownst to Batman, the Joker had one last joke. The clown had taken in a toxin that would infect anyone close to him when he died. And as expected, and as wanted, it was Batman. An inside joke only the Joker was in on, and so a new chapter began. A couple of days after Joker's murder, Batman confessed to Superman that he had not only felt no guilt after killing the Joker, but plans on making killing a regular part of his crime-fighting routine. This new ideology was revealed to his sidekicks, Batgirl, Red Robin, Nightwing, and Red Hood, while they were training in the Batcave. They decided to talk to Bruce about his worsening condition. In fact, they all offered to help him however they could. A great gesture that the Bat eventually turned down as he revealed the main reason he even called them in the first place. According to him, they would be the first people to notice something was off about him and hurry to get the other heroes involved, something he wasn't going to allow. So he surprised them. In fact, he surprised all of us by taking a step no one ever saw coming, pulling out a pair of concealed machine guns and shooting every single one of them dead. Yeah, Batman killed his family, every single one of them. That's some Joker irony. Again, Joker's comedy. Anyway, back to this guy. It took him no time at all to conquer Earth 22. Yeah, they fought back as they were supposed to, but in the end, he was inevitable. He conquered the world with help from his son, Damian, who he also Jokerized using the Joker venom, and the bunch of Joker kids the Joker made earlier. So, the Darkest Knight literally had an army of crazy Joker people just like him. The Batman who laughs conquered the Justice League on his own. Now, imagine what he would do with an army of Jokerized kids, all with no mercy or limits. You know what? Let's take another step forward, shall we? Let's imagine this amount of chaos was unleashed in the Marvel Universe. They would surely get it done. In fact, the Batman who laughs could easily use Joker's venom on a bunch of Marvel's characters. You know, get them to fight his battles for him and carry out various tactics. He did it with Donna Troy, Blue Beetle, and even Shazam, who's meant to be a god. There are so many ways the Batman who laughs could go about attacking Marvel. The Batman who laughs was literally unstoppable, going as far as even conquering other worlds in the multiverse. With the help of Dr. Arkham, he was able to integrate his mind into that of a Bruce Wayne with Dr. Manhattan's powers. And if you know Dr. Manhattan, you'd know just how powerful he is. Telekinesis, nigh omnipotence, nigh omniscience, omnipresence, reality warping, size manipulation, telepathy, flight, immortality, interstellar travels, you name it, and Dr. Manhattan's got you covered. To put it in context for you all, he is as powerful as Marvel's Celestials, and he's going to whoop a lot of heavy hitters in a fight. Yes, including popular Marvel heroes such as Thor. With powers like that in evil Bruce's hands, he's literally unstoppable. In fact, to help imagine the Darkest Knight crossing into Marvel's universe, let's pit him against Marvel's mightiest, as promised earlier, shall we? Let's start off with a hero like Captain America. Steve Rogers is definitely no slouch, his feats speak for themselves. A super soldier in peak physical condition, able to hold his own against various heroes and villains alike. Underestimating Cap would be a huge mistake, but a fight against the Darkest Knight would end up being a Joker Cap if he decides to add to his army. Cap has gone toe-to-toe with some fierce villains, but Bruce's new conniving and sadistic way of thinking added onto his already calculated battle approach, he could manipulate Cap by either tricking him or playing on his moral code. Use his own morals against him. A venom that has worked on heroes like Shazam and Blue Beetle, who is a god and has advanced alien tech at his disposal. This same strategy could also work on someone like Iron Man. Yeah, we can agree that Tony is highly intellectual, but is he as strategic or borderline maniacal like the Darkest Knight? In a battle of intellect, we could say they are in the same atmosphere, but that is where the Joker part of his mind comes into play, and it is stated in the comic that Batman is arguably already one of the smartest characters in the entire DC universe. That level of intellect, combined with a warped psyche, would put Iron Man in some predicaments where he would question his humanity and play on Tony's paranoid personality. Spidey is a smart cookie with a range of offensive options, and of course the ever-useful spider senses. He would be able to spot the Darkest Knight from a mile away. But what will he do when the Batman Who Laughs comes for his family, or Mary Jane, or Norma, his best pal? His signature tactic Joker venom? He's not going to be seeing that from a mile away, will he? The Batman Who Laughs is unpredictable, sick, and highly resourceful. If he has to kill everyone Spidey knows to get to him, then that's exactly what he's going to do. Our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man just has way too many weaknesses to exploit. This is without even tapping into his divine abilities or hand-to-hand. So, let's up the ante. The Darkest Knight versus the Incredible Hulk. Now, this is a bit more of a challenge, guys, but Hulk is just too linear in the way he fights, smash everything into oblivion. Batman Who Laughs, on the other hand, is an out-of-the-box thinker. He would come up with a way to use Hulk's gamma physiology against him. And if the Darkest Knight finds Mr. Green here useful, he might just use the Joker venom to turn him into one of his many puppets. Imagine a Joker and Hulk hybrid, or just alter his mind to make him attack the others with his reality warping abilities. The Hulk is very unpredictable, and draws power from the one below all, so instead Bruce could ship him off-world somewhere to neutralize him until he builds up an army of his allies to make him fight against them. How would Hulk comprehend killing his own allies? How would Bruce Banner? Whew. In fact, you know what? Let's have a change of pace and let's go cosmic. The Darkest Knight up against Thor, the God of Thunder. Many of you probably think this is going to be an easy win for Thor, but may I remind you that the Darkest Knight did find a way to defeat the Justice League, including Superman, which, by the way, is one of both DC and Marvel's strongest superheroes. And he even did that without Dr. Manhattan's godlike powers. So yeah, he might find it quite difficult defeating Thor as just a Batman-Joker hybrid, but once you throw in Dr. Manhattan's powers, then it might just be another day for him, just deciding how he wants to handle him. Great thing about it all is he would have observed, calculated, and seen how each being operated along with their respective weaknesses that was a threat, and placed contingencies on them just like with his own Justice League. In fact, let's throw in one more cosmic threat, the Ghost Rider. Yeah, this is going to be a real fight because Ghost Rider literally exists to bring punishment and pain to the wicked. And if you've been listening, you'll know that the Darkest Knight definitely qualifies as the wicked. Ghost Rider's powers, the super strength, durability, hellfire blast, and of course penance stare, make him quite formidable. Well, for most evildoers, the penance stare should do the trick, making villains experience the pain and torment of their victims. Also, noting that even when a host of the Spirit of Vengeance dies, it will just go and find a new host and keep that same cycle continuing. But the Darkest Knight might just enjoy that. He's that messed up. So, they're going to have to fight it out. And with Dr. Manhattan's powers, there may be no end. What if he absorbs the Spirit? Batman is still an embodiment of vengeance. His whole symbol is based around vengeance and punishment. Seems like the perfect host, especially if he sets the stage to make himself the only viable host left. With all this, here's what we know. The Batman who laughs has conquered worlds and universes, and Marvel's would be up for grabs as well. And it's never even just the godlike powers he picked up along the way. It's also in the way he thinks. Combine Batman's grits, thinking, combat mastery, intellect, and paranoia, along with the Joker's twisted nihilism, and you get a near unstoppable villain. Prep time and a terribly twisted sense of humor would definitely break many of Marvel's notorious. Again, Bruce has become an entity we compared to the level of Celestials, and quite frankly, above them. He is characterized as an outerverse level threat, and to leave you off with a statement from the mind of the Darkest Knight, he himself said, "It was simple really, killing my world. No matter what they threw at me, armies of villains, alien tyrants, the wrath of God, they were all just problems to solve, one by one, methodically, with precision and blood." How many Marvel villains would you say think like this, or have even accomplished the feats he has? After The Darkest Knight was finished, unleashing his essence in Dark Knight comedy special upon Marvel, all that would be left echoing through the universe would be that maniacal laugh. Why so serious?